Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us into our new What's New in Inventor and Vault 2023. My name is Claude Lapointe. I'm an industry account manager in Montreal. Today, I'll have the pleasure of being assisted by Hugo Trepanier, which is working out of Quebec City. And we'll be talking about a little bit, here's with the agenda. A little bit about what is SolidCAD for those of you who don't know us very well, and then we're going to dive into the What's New Inventor and Vault 2023. So I'll try to keep it short. SolidCAD has been in business for more than 25 years now. We've been first of all, the Autodesk reseller, and now we're the largest platinum Autodesk reseller in Canada. Next slide. We are part of Cancel. Cancel deals into survey equipment, large format printer, all kinds of scanners, 3D scanners, and we at SolidCAD supply services for the line of Autodesk product. Basically, we're axing our intervention into three different fields: design, manage, and share. Design with all kinds of software, manage those drawings, and then being able to share them with everyone that you want to share them with. So we are into the architecture, the engineering, the construction, infrastructure, and plant industries. We are into the manufacturing industries. Next slide, please. Where we provide all kinds of services: training, custom and private. We can write the CAM post processor for the CNC machining, programming, customization, automation of some feature that you would like to automate. We're into data management and PLM. We're into simulation and analysis, and of course, we're supplying our customer with support services. Let me talk briefly about one of our own product, which is Variant. Variant is a CPQ. What's the CPQ? Configure, price, and quote. So basically what it does, next slide. It's based on the web. It's improved sales cycle times, can do professional quotation, integration with ERP, and it uses Inventor iLogics. What it does is that you can go into the website, configure the product that you manufacture, and then it's going to create a bill of material, and from that bill of material you can quote your customer and you can manufacture the product afterward. Talking about training, we're, like I said before, we have two types of training: custom and open enrollment. Although open enrollment is a little bit hard to manage because of the time zone, because of all kinds of things. So mostly people are going with the custom training designed specifically for their needs. We have training facilities in mainly all the provinces in Canada. Training both in English and French, and we've got people on board that can speak also other languages. The best way to help our customer, of course, is to assist them, to get them technical support. It can be technical support for question about how to configure the Autodesk account, how to deploy the version of the software, how to apply service pack, installation, support, all kinds of, you got questions, we can help you with answering all your different needs. Our manufacturing team is over 20 and more sales reps located across Canada. We have more than 10 specialized technical consultants like Hugo that can help you answer your question, configure, install, and help you out into your Autodesk journeys. Now, Hugo, it's your turn.
Yeah, so thank you, Claude, and sorry for a little delay with the PowerPoint. Anyway, so I will share you now your, let me share my PowerPoint. So I will close this. Share mine. Great. So yeah, you see my screen, Claude? Is it okay? Ready to start?
Nope, you're not there yet.
Now, just wait again. Is it ready now?
Yes, it is.
Super. Okay, so thank you very much. My name is Hugo Trepanier, manufacturing technical specialist based in Quebec area. So yeah, I gave training across Canada in French and English. So today it's interesting to show you what's new with Inventor and Vault. So first, I will start with Inventor. I have 6 different panel just to describe about Inventor. Also, just before start, feel free to chat inside the question, okay, inside the chat window in Zoom. I will answer your question only at the end of the presentation. So ask any question and I will try to be able to reply to all of you. So yeah, so I will start with first the general. General is more inside Inventor, like performance, like introduction. So I will talk about the general thing inside Inventor. Interoperability with the different other software with Autodesk. So you know probably BIM and also Fusion 360. You have a different way now in 2023 to share information on other platform with Autodesk software. Also inside the parts modeling, you have a new feature, very interesting. So I will show you this. Also inside the assembly modeling, you have a new feature, a new interesting tool. Performance, it's always the goal of Autodesk Inventor to just increase performance with different version. So great help in 2023 too. And I will hand the Inventor side with documentation. So in 2D drawings, you have a new tool and new feature inside Inventor 2023. So go to the general enhancement. With Inventor, first with 2023, you have a different home tab. Just similar, but just divide with different section. You see at the bottom left, what's news and also tutorial, and the display will be different. So it's just a brand new display. And one interesting thing inside the general enhancement with Inventor, it's the shift and middle mouse button. So you know, inside the first the previous version, they had a new possibilities to configure your middle mouse button. So you have the Alt and now add Shift key to configure this. Okay, so also general enhancement with HiLogic. If you are a user with HiLogic, it's interesting that all external rules and also external, not external, but global form that are it's external too. You have access to add a new button inside your ribbon. Okay, so if you're going customize inside Inventor, it's now easier just to select an external HiLogic rules or HiLogic forms to create like a push button inside Inventor. So interesting to add this in your toolbar. And also, if you use a multi-list parameters inside Inventor, it's now possible to change the order, not with A to Z, just custom and change manually the order of the parameters list. Also interesting when you use this inside HiLogic form. So new feature in 2023. Inside the general enhancement, if you have a middle or higher level of graphic card, okay, you will be able to enable the GPU ray tracing. This is a new inside Inventor, just to don't use your CPU inside your computer, but the GPU is a graphic card processing, and it's in pre-release in 2023. If your graphic card is available with this feature, you will be able to enable this and try this in 2023. So if you have the different renderings, and also if you go inside the inside Inventor Studio, you will have an improvement with the GPU if your graphic card support this. So it's pre-release for now, but you could try this. Interoperability is with different Autodesk platform. So I will start first with Revit. You know, since 2022 and 2021, you could insert Revit file inside Inventor. The problem is about, hey, I received the file by email. You need to share this easier than just send the file. So with Revit, you have access now with the new data exchange cloud tool. Okay, so people that use Revit it's just easier to share a specific part of the building and share this in the cloud. And they will be able to update this because they had a new section, new wall, and you will be inside Inventor also connected to the cloud file in reference inside Inventor. If any change exists from the Revit side, you will be affected inside Inventor without send file back and forward. So interesting. With Revit and also with Fusion. If you work with Inventor, if you have a collection, you have access also to the Fusion tool. Fusion is a cloud-based software, but you could easily use a generative design, simulation, manufacture, okay, and also design. So normally, if you need to create a simulation, for example, just to event simulation like impact or also just a stress analysis, you could it's easier than ever to push this inside Fusion team and without manually upload the file. So it's interesting. I will show you in small video to explain this. And also with Fusion, you could insert Fusion part inside Inventor. Remember, inside Fusion, you have access to other plugins developed by Autodesk, like a circuit board. Okay, you have ability to create this inside Fusion, but to input this inside Inventor, sometimes you just have a missing information. And now the mesh tool, it's available to import a Fusion design file inside Inventor, just to be sure to retrieve all info from the 3D inside Inventor. Also, interoperability, you could exchange different type of file. First, the new GLTF file, it's just open source format, okay? And now it's available to export with Inventor. You have GT import export again, step file, you know, step file. The difference is just higher, it's just more powerful now. And simply if you import the step, it's probably twice time faster, okay, just to import step file in 2023. So STL export, and you have also the USDZ export. The USDZ, it's a tool for 3D reality. So if you export this package, it's also possible for other software just to have a 3D reality view. So interesting also to have this batch export with the task scheduler inside Inventor. Okay, so you could massively export with a different new GLTF or step file or USDZ. So let me show you a small video just with the new feature. You will see inside Inventor with the Fusion tool. First, if you open an assembly or file or like a part, you will be able to share this with Fusion tab. So inside Inventor, you have access to the Fusion tool, and you have different options like simulation, manufacturer, and you will be able to share this directly from Inventor inside the new panel link with your Fusion Team Hub. You will be able to access to your specific project just to share this info inside the cloud to process the information inside the Fusion. So for example, here, I would just push the sub-assembly here, and inside Fusion, I will be able to create this studite like stress analysis and impact, and use the Fusion process and Fusion compute on the cloud just to be sure to have the correct result, and pretty faster because use the cloud process for Fusion. So interesting with Inventor to have access to this new panel. And also for Revit, if you start with Revit and you need to share info, the Revit user will be able just to specify what type of view they need to share. Normally, they don't share the entire building. They will share a specific part. And now with the new data exchange, they will be able to directly on the cloud to share this. And you could have inside Inventor the preview of this, and also the data exchange is embedded inside Inventor to insert the cloud file inside Inventor. So this file provided from the cloud, and this one will provide from my Vault or my my site, and I will be able just to be able to collaborate with Revit and be sure to have one single file on the cloud to share. So now the next, it's a part modeling enhancement. You have some feature. One is very interesting. It's the mark feature. You know, in sheet metal mode, it's interesting because if you need to have a scribe inside your laser cut, and you need to export the scribe on a specific layer inside the DXF, it's now available in 2023. So also the DXF export will include a specific layer for mark tool. It's possible for any type of part, but personally, I like this in sheet metal. You will see later also other tool link with this new tool about properties. I will talk later. Other improvement inside the part. If you have a broken projection like sketch provide from other part, and you have a missing link, and you could easily, it's easier for you just to find how select broken projection and delete this or break the link, and just be sure to find this easier than the previous version. Now, high property in text. Remember, I talked just before about the marking tool. High property in text, it's interesting because you could integrate your high properties from part number inside text. So if the part number description or custom parameters, you are able to insert this inside the text. And if you have a change, they will be able to change this. In the past, the only way is use HiLogic and push the HiLogic text inside the parameters. Is just easier now. Okay, so again, inside the sheet metal part, it's interesting to know that the extension information. So probably you already saw this inside Inventor with the part, the standard part. You are able to see just more the better description that what is the face size and what is the thickness. It's now available in sheet metal mode too. Okay, if you have a contour flange or an extrusion was possible only in a 2 direction or middle, it's now possible with asymmetric extrusion for the contour flange. If you export the DXF file from the flat pattern, it's now possible to replace spline not by line, but by arcs, okay? So it's interesting because if you have an export with the DXF for your laser cut, it's just easier to have it's arcs is a better job also than multiple lines.
Also, Hugo,
Yeah.
Was it something that was, I think, something that was hard to do before, because when you were putting into a cutting machine, it was all kinds of jagged edge parts and things like that. I think now we're going to have a smooth
transition between this. Yeah, it's why a lot of people just work hard to create arcs and line or process this inside AutoCAD. So now it's directly from Inventor to arcs instead lines. So I suggest you have a different any file just to correct this and use the new tool with 2023. Yeah, so also derive component, okay? So it's easier now to derive this like a template. So if you create a sheet metal and need to reuse this for this same part, it's just easier now to derive. It's like create a mirror part inside assembly, is directly from the sheet metal, create a new one, link it to this previous. Also inside the parts modeling improvement, when you create fillet or also extrude, revolve, or each 3D feature now, you could easily access to the tolerance tool. If you need to add tolerance during the extrusion, for example, it's available now. In the past, the only way is just enter the new parameters, go back in the tab and add tolerance. So it's now available directly at the screen. Other two is a relationship with feature. You probably try this in Inventor. First, just right click and hey, where use this feature, okay? So if you have a suppress feature, it was just unavailable. Now, suppress is also supported to understand if you delete a feature, what is the impact of this feature? So this tool exists for a lot of time, but it's just unavailable with suppress. You probably also use right-click on or off for your sketch, for your work plane, work axis, and also multi-solids. So now use alternate V. So just Alt V in the keyboard, just click the sketch, Alt V is turn on off. Instead, right-click and turn on off. So interesting, is just a shortcut for you, ready to use with 2023. So now, again, a small video just to explain the different tool inside the parts. The first, if you open a part like a sheet metal and not used to the scribe or mark tool, you could use text or sketch, and you are able to use mark from one side or two sides in the same time. Also, the extrusion could be asymmetric now for the contour flange tool. And if you have a flat pattern with the DXF, now during the save, you see the new arc approximation tool to be sure to resolve your spline with arc. If you create extrusion or fillets, you are able now to add directly inside the box your tolerance and also recover this tolerance inside a 3D annotation if needed. Okay, so just small tool, but very interesting in 2023. Okay, now the second part, the other part of Inventor is the assembly modeling enhancement. Inside the assembly, first, I would talk about 2022. Remember, Autodesk changed in the whole time is when you suppress to create a new LOD, level of detail. Since 2022, you create a new model state that impact the BOM. The problem with 2022, if you use this, you suppress, the quantity is 0. Now with 2023, you have access to the small BOM settings tool and you could hide part with 0, okay? Suppress, please don't show this part. And also, when you suppress the part, the problem it's because inside your structure or part only, you have an item number, okay? So the item number could be now renumber instantly with this option. If you check renumber item sequentially, it's possible if you, example, have an item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you suppress number 4, 1, 2, 3, 5. No, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 now, okay? So it's just interactive and just easier than ever to manage your item number if you suppress part. So interesting for the BOM, and also because you could use the model state, you could suppress different options, okay? And when you also use not suppression, but if you remember the shrink wrap tool in the past, it's now the simplified tool. It's now just easier just to right click and use the simplify. This is the whole shrink wrap to create a new model state link with the new simplify, the old shrink wrap. Okay, so it's already done in 2022. It's just easier in 2023. The constraint options have a new tool. It's strange that because you could create the constraint and suppress in the same time. Why? Because you work inside an assembly and you know this is the level of detail, now the model state, and I just don't need this in this context. So you could create this, but suppress during the creation to be sure to don't have this feature or constraint activate when you finish the job. So it's also possible inside the IPN, so the presentation file, to rename storyboard. So it's a little change, but in the past it was impossible to rename the storyboard. So very simple, but new feature. And also if you use the publish to create a video from your IPN view, you could change the frequency of the frame rate video. So the video frame rate is just new to have a better quality, to have more during 1 second, I need 30, for example, image, it's possible. The bolt connection also have a new tool. So, you know, if you create a bolt connection, you could connect with the actual pattern inside the file. Now, if you check follow pattern during the bolt connection, they will follow pattern, but also the sketch pattern, okay? If you tried this in the past, if you use the sketch pattern, it was impossible to link this. It's now possible in 2023. Always inside the assembly, like the parts, it's easier to connect high properties from different part or different instance. So basically, if you create a note inside your assembly, like a 3D annotation, you would like to have a specific info from a description from the part, or also instance property, because you could link this inside the text and keep this updated. The goal is keep the information at one place and distribute this info in all other tools like the text. If you work with the tube and pipe, you will have a new tool during the route command. In the past, if you create a route, they create auto route to save time. You could just right click and convert to sketch later, but now you could actually just check this and convert this at the end to sketch, okay? So you could just save one step instead to convert after. And also during the auto dimension and constraint, you probably saw this in the previous version that, yeah, it's interesting to add constraint, add dimension, but if you don't need this, you could uncheck to add this or not, okay? Also, during the constraint, basically the tree first was enabled, and when you go back inside your sketch, you see, hey, it's not parallel to XY or YZ. No, now you could enable that, hey, please, during my sketch, also you could check all of these possibilities to be sure that all constraints will be applied at the same time. Again, a small video just to explain some new feature in assembly with Inventor 2023. First, if you go in express mode and turn visibility on off, is very fast in express mode, okay? It's very interesting, it's easier. Also, if you use a suppress command inside the BOM, okay, you access to the BOM, and I don't need to show zero quantity, you access to the BOM settings and suppress the zero file. Also, inside the spreadsheet, inside the model state, you are able to check the tolerance did inside your part. So you could easily now drive the constraint and tolerance inside each level of detail, now model state. Different model state, different tolerance, you could drive the tolerance too. It's a brand new in 2023. So now the next, it's a performance and improvement with Inventor. So, you know, now the express mode is just better than 2022. Each year, Inventor increased the performance of the software. You know, you could have a multiple thread core on your CPU. So now they use higher threads just to compute display. It's why Inventor with large assembly just faster than 2022. Okay. Also, if you use a punch tool feature inside the sheet metal, if you have a lot of punch mark, okay, it's just twice time faster inside Inventor than the 2022. So it's improvement for the punch tool, but also for the display. Also,
Hugo,
yeah.
I think that punch tool feature, because we had a discussion a while ago about a customer that was using SolidWorks, and apparently it was a nightmare for them, for instance, for ventilation hole inside of a cabinet, to have 40 by 50 holes into the sheet metal, and you were showing me something that was fantastic. So yeah. I believe that has been greatly enhanced.
Yeah, sure. Because, you know, if you have a pattern tool inside Inventor and you need to pattern, for example, you have a laser cut and make for example, a custom hole with a specific shape, and you need to repeat this shape to 500 by 500. Does have a large display of pattern. It's fast inside Inventor. So no, inside SolidWorks, it's a big problem now. Okay, so yeah, I know that some customer that use Inventor instead SolidWorks for specific project. Yeah, so in 2023 is also increased by 2022 in the speed. So also in express mode, remember, turn on off, it's very fast now. Then last slide for Inventor is documentation, is the 2D drawings, okay? You know, when you use model state, you don't use the position. When you create drawings, it was possible to use an overlay view to just have a superposition with different position, okay? Now it's available with model state. If you create a model state with, for example, it could be used also for a part. You have a different length of the part. You could use an overlay view to superpose just overlay different model state, like the position view inside Inventor. Also, the edit detail. If you create a detail like a square, circle, it was just, I don't know why, but in the previous version, you need to go in the browser, right-click, go in the options, and try to change this. It's now just double-click on the detail view. That's it. You access to this box, and you are able to switch to square instead circle and change the cutout shape and add the connection line. All is easier in 2023. Also, if you create a datum target, if you create 3D annotation, so remember, hyperproperties are now back in text, so you could link your hyperproperties inside the text, inside the 3D annotations. Best way to centralize your information, always in your hyperproperties, okay? So it's a brand new now in 2023, and also datum target use 3 different type of shape now. It's easier also to make a different link with different feature. And also during the weld annotation, you know, you have a style library with the weld. Now, new options inside the weld, you have a new symbol, okay? So I know you have a new ISO 25 2553-2019, it's now available. Okay, you have some ISO new model, and also Inventor just upgrade the new possibilities of the welding symbol, and also have a new feature like enforce to be automatic, fix left or fix right. You could enforce right or left side for your welding annotation now. Okay. Okay, so now a small video again, just to explain the new documentation improvement. If you go inside your drawings, so for an assembly or part, you are able, for example, in this case, just to edit the detail view, double click and access to square instead circle, add the connection line. Inside the 3D annotation, the datum target, you'll be able to change the shape and also link directly to the specific extrusion, other face. And again, notes, you could be just link with high properties to be sure to populate your information from the high properties. You could copy paste also the revision table. Okay, sometimes you have 2 or 3 sheets and you insert on the first sheet the revision table. You need this info on other sheet, just copy paste. It's also possible in 2023. Again, with the documentation enhancement, so you could, sorry about this, I think I restart the same because it's the vote the next. That's why I just hit this, not the right side. So again, the new feature in the vote now. So conclude the first section with Inventor. And with Vote 2023, you have some new feature, okay? First, you have a user side. If you use AutoCAD, you have a big upgrade with the previous version. If you use Inventor, it's the same, okay? So inside AutoCAD, you have a new feature I will explain later. If you are an administrator of Vote and use Vote Pro, not Vote Basic, okay? You are able to connect remote user easier with the VPN access normally. You could use the new technology now with the Vote Gateway. And also participant, if you annotate or just add info inside your Vote Pro and like your ECU, you have a new tool to annotate and document your files. So let me show you first others. This is the focus inside your work, inside AutoCAD, also inside Vote. So first, instance properties, okay? If you work with Inventor, you could now, since 2022, add a specific properties for each instance inside your assembly. You could have exactly the same part, but different information. Now with Vote Professional, if you create item from the assembly, you could also have a specific info for each instance, bring back inside the item, inside your BOM, okay? So just to be sure to the instance is also supported now with item level, if you use item inside the Vote. So let me start with the instance property. You could have different assembly with different information, but it's the same assembly, okay? This is feature did in 2022. So if you have different ID inside your BOM, but inside the Vote, you are able now to create a new properties linked to the BOM and provide from the BOM information from the item with instance property. You could map this, and when you create item inside the Vote, you will add exactly the same info than your BOM inside Inventor. So you see here, I have a BOM with different instance property inside the Vote Professional. With AutoCAD, if you know Inventor, it's the same. So you go inside AutoCAD, you could use it inside the history, detail view, use where use tab, and also you see you could start a copy design, go to Vote folder. All this tool was available previously in Inventor and now available inside AutoCAD too. So you see inside AutoCAD again, the options just to use the interface exactly like Inventor. So if you go inside AutoCAD, you will be able to use the new panel like history, use, reuse, and right-click and access directly to the info. So right-click, show details, you will see the information like Inventor. You need to go in a specific folder in the Vault. You could right-click and go to folder, go to item inside the Vault, and simply access to the info inside the Vault. So interesting to have exactly the same options. AutoCAD and Inventor works with the same tool now with Vault Professional. Also, user interface enhancement. Okay, you know you have different shim inside Inventor, like the dark or gray, light gray. Okay, is the same now with Vault. You could change like this. Okay, so gray or dark. And also we have a refresh icon. So the icon is refreshed. You will see also in the small video some change inside the display. You see you could use inside your Vault Professional the web-based plugin just to show your viewer. So I talked here about the dark mode, but you could change this also inside your user side from the web application. The Autodesk Forge viewer is also embedded inside Vault. So if you use inside the web application or inside the Inventor side with the Vault, you have exactly the same information because you use the same viewer. In the past, inside Vault, you needed to use the DWIF file and use not the digital view, but it's a design review tool. So without design review tool, it was impossible to see the file. So now you have a choice to switch to cloud-based to have the same options with your Windows-based and your tablet like iOS or Android. So the column customization, it's also available if you use Vault Professional and use the change state tool. If you change state, you could also need to display different informations, okay? You could add now with customized view your specific column like material, file name. Anyway, you have access to customize your view. And also, if you go inside the administrator tool, so let me show you, you could have a there's a better control with the 2D files like Inventor, AutoCAD, and other type of file. You know, Vault Pro could be have an access with different 2D platform. Okay, you could plug SolidWorks, Solid Edge, Inventor, and any other 3D system with the Vault. So now, if you use a centralized Vault to manage all 2D files, you could enforce the restriction for the design file like a different extension, concurrent or not. It's also available in Vault Pro 2023 to exclude a specific type of file, just to be sure to check in the file with the correct applications inside the Vault. Also, for the administrator side, you could change the color of your lifecycle. Interesting because you could have a different lifecycle, okay? The best way is just see the color, okay? So you could have, for example, in this case, work in progress is in white and release in blue. So I could use this color for each release and each type of lifecycle now. So blue is release, white is in work in progress, okay? So it's a new column, new properties available in 2023. And also Vault Gateway, okay? I explained this because normally people work at home and need to connect to the office with the Vault server. they need a VPN account, the VPN connection, and also in this case, normally need a domain account. So now with 2023, you could use the Vault Gateway. It's just work in the background of the firewall without VPN access, okay? It's just easier to connect to the Vault, but to do this, you have some setup to do on the server side because it's managed by the Autodesk licensing on the cloud. If you don't have a license, it's impossible to access, okay? You absolutely need a Vault license like a Vault Pro to be able to connect to the Vault, and your administrator of your license need to specify the group of people that access to the Vault with your Autodesk ID. So they use the Autodesk ID to connect to the Vault to use the check-in, check-out inside the Vault. Very interesting, and also it's just easier and faster way to connect the Vault with remote connection. So you will see inside a small video how to connect without VPN. So you could now use the Autodesk Vault Gateway and simply configure the server and access people with iPad, iOS, and other platform without VPN, okay? It's a secure connection with Autodesk and behind the firewall, and you could access easily without VPN. So I will show you on side the server side now the small setup. You need to simply go on the server and create a Vault Gateway setup. So manage Vault Gateway, and in this case, they will create with your administrator of Autodesk accounts to create a secure connection with the server and add user to be able to connect to this server now without VPN. It's interesting in 2023. So you need Vault 2023 server to do this. I think, I'm not sure, but I think if you have a 2023 server side and use 2022, you are able to use Vault Gateway, okay? But you absolutely need to move in 2023 server to be able to set up this. Okay, so Vault Basic now, it's also available for with different software with Autodesk. So, you know, Inventor Professional include Vault Basic, 3ds Max now, AutoCAD, so, and also each collection like product design, architecture, media collection include Vault Basic, okay? So in the past, only collection included Vault Basic. So now the single license like AutoCAD, 3ds, and Inventor include this tool. So Vault Basic available for all now. And just to conclude now for the participant side with Vault, if you need to collaborate, okay, add annotation. Remember, in the past, people needed Autodesk Design Review to add annotation. So if you have an iPad, iOS, and access to the Vault, you have now access to the cloud viewer based on Forge. So you are able now to add annotation inside the cloud related to the Vault. It's interesting because you could add annotation with the cloud tool. So let me show you with the markup tool with Vault Professional in this case. So they will be able to access with different platform, Windows, iOS, or Apple, but also Android. So your annotation could be done directly on the cloud viewer, and you could create a snapshot here and link with the Vault. You could also delete, rename the annotation, and also save this like a file. So you could save as data or a screenshot. So if you save as data, there will be a link inside the Vault, and you will be able to consult this with the Vault client side. So interesting, just to markup file without have a specific software, just use Forge Viewer and easier to annotate and see other markup did by other user inside the ECU or order files. So interesting now with you don't have a specific platform to do this. It's why it's very interesting. Also, Inventor read-only, probably you know that Inventor read-only is included for you. So any people in the planet could download Inventor for 30 days, okay? 30 days is just a trial. It's a full trial. After 30 days is read-only mode. So Inventor could open native file without, or just without perform. You could take measurement, access to the BOM, but read-only Inventor, it's free, okay? So if you have a Vault office installed inside different computer inside your business, you are access now to open the file from Inventor in Inventor read-only mode. Instead, use Inventor View or the software. So it's interesting to change this workflow that each time I'll double click inside my Vault, I need to open this in the native software, Inventor read-only, okay? So it's available in 2022 with the latest server spec, so it's also available with 2023. So you could follow us on your social network, so with SolidCAD on Facebook, Twitters, inside your SolidCAD solution, also LinkedIn, YouTube, and visit our blog at solidcad.ca/blog. So it's a pleasure for me today to give you this session. If you have any question, yeah.
Before going to the Q&A, you want to talk a little bit about that strange thing there called Vault Workgroup?
Yes. Vote, you know, you have two Vote in the past, three Vote Workgroup and Vote Professionals since now. Vote, it's just Vote Pro and Vote Basic, okay? You don't, so Vote Workgroup, it's available for people that have Vote Workgroup now, okay? But you cannot buy a new Vote Workgroup, okay? It will be supported for some years now again, yeah, but each of you will pass to Vote Pro in the future. Honestly, it's the good news because, you know, viewer, share information, it's inside Vote Pro. If you have Vote Workgroup and you would like to know more about what Vote Pro could done for you with the better tool, it's very interesting because you know, Vote Pro have a duplicate search for a specific object without type info, okay? You need to find the same object than this one. If you have this, Vote Pro will find for you a duplicate with the 3D shape analysis, okay? You could have a step file, compare with the IPT, they will be able to find the file. Hey, we have an existing file with the same in 3D, not because it's done inside Inventor. It's just the 3D shape, it's identical. So you have a lot of tools with Vote Pro, and now, yeah, Vote Basic, Vote Pro will be the only Vote available with Autodesk.
For those of you that have Vote Workgroup, don't panic now. On July 7, you're going to receive some announcement from Autodesk saying that you will now have access to either Vault Workgroup or Vault Pro. So you can still continue to work on your Workgroup, but at one point in time, it would be a good idea to migrate to the Vault Pro. This is not a long process. Since everything is done, it's only a matter of adding the new feature that you want to be added in there. So that's new this year, so no more Vault Workgroup. So now we're going to go on to the Q&A. So anyone that has a question can ask us.
Yeah, on the chat window, just specify your question. I will try to answer you. And if you have other people in your team that cannot access to this demo today, okay, the recording will be available on your website soon. So or just ask Claude if you need, or ask any people of you. So the video of the new feature will be available in download, and just
while people are putting in their question, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10? What do you think of the new Inventor 2023? Hugo.
Yeah.
what do you think of the new Inventor 2023 on a scale of 1 to 10? Is that a good move, or is that a...
Yeah, it's if you move forward with, if you actually have Inventor 2022 and move forward with 2023, it's correct. But actually now 2023 don't have a service pack. Okay, so if you move to upgrade to 2023, also just to announce you, the service pack one with 2023 will be launched very soon during the next month. Okay, so I suggest to wait service pack one before move in 2023. So, but you have a lot of information. You have a lot of new thing with also Vault and Inventor. But I had a question this morning about the customer that needed to move to 2022 to 2023. If you have a lot of configuration like job processor and Vault configuration, I suggest to wait service pack one, because sometimes you could have a different way to reprogram your custom job process. So wait service pack one before move.
It's always a good thing to wait for service pack one. Usually service pack one is coming out in July. Yep. And after July, then the product has been debugged and it's working smoothly. Not that it's not working smoothly right now, but to be able for you to be more at ease and being confident that the software is going to perform properly. Yep. I believe that we don't have any question.
No question. So thank you for to assist to this demo today. So it will be a pleasure, and see you in the next session.